Get people to get in here. Wait for some people to get in here. Waiting for some people to get in here. Just waiting for some more people to show up. Give me a sec. We're going to talk a little bit tonight. We're going to talk a little bit. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit. Give me a sec. Wait for some more people to join the live. I got Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube up. Waiting for some more people to get in here. Just bear with me for a sec. Just bear with me for a sec. Just bear with me for a sec. Yeah, YouTube, Instagram might not let me keep my phone sideways. So hopefully they won't trip. Give me a sec though. I'm waiting for some more people to join the live. We're going to talk a little bit tonight. We're going to talk. We're not in the studio because the producer, he had some family issues, some personal issues he had to attend to. So that's the only reason why we're not in the studio. But we're still going to try to have a conversation. It's Tuesday night. We're still going to try to talk about something. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. I'm waiting for some more people to join the live. Waiting for some more people to join. We're not in the studio, like I was saying. Some couple people just came in. We're not in the studio because the producer had some family issues he had to attend to. So we're not in the studio for that reason. Um, Hopefully next week he'll have it cleared up, but I'm anticipating the 7th being back on the 7th. I'm anticipating being back on the 7th. But like I said, we got a couple of things that we need to need to go ahead and talk about, get out the way. There's always something going on out here. Then we can get back to, what we normally do. You know how we set it up. You know what I mean? Yeah. Come on in, come on in. So I'm waiting for a couple more people to join before I get started. Please come on in. Please come on in. Please come on in. I'm about to get started in a second. About to get started in a second. About to get started in a second. Okay. So there's a couple of things that's been going on out here lately. Um, a couple of people just popped in on YouTube. I know y'all used to seeing me in the studio. Um, Still thank y'all for joining me. The producer had some family issues he had to attend to, so that's the reason for this. I just wanted to make sure I still stay in touch with y'all on Tuesday. Hopefully in the next week or so he'll have that matter cleared up, and we can get back to what we normally do. The setting we normally do it in, but we can have this conversation anywhere. I think we all understand that we can still have these conversations anywhere. So that's what we're gonna do. We still gonna have this conversation, right? Um, we're not gonna do, we're not gonna have the video cut-ins and stuff that we normally got. Like this is gonna be low. It's gonna be regular. It's gonna be a conversation, right? Anybody that's been rocking with my YouTube from like what 2 years, 3 years now, however long it's been, you're familiar with me just recording, uploading, right? So we just gonna have a conversation. You understand? Um, Last Thursday, I was sitting out where I normally sit at on Thursday, and this guy walked up and he started talking about how Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, how he took CRT, critical race theory, out of the colleges and out of the schools in Florida because he thought that that and some other African American studies actually went past the critical race theory. Um, he feel as though them studies didn't have any value. It didn't add any value to the American curriculum, right? Or the Florida, in this case, the Florida curriculum. So with one fell swoop with a pen, he got rid of that curriculum and all Florida within Florida education, right? So with the race theory part, he feels as though specifically with that, he feels as though that it caused people to be divided, right? Because he feel like teaching students that curriculum was making these students today or people of today pay for the missteps of their ancestors, right? I was halfway with him on that. I was halfway with him. But then when you stop and think about it, Black history isn't really told in America on a grand scale. It's really not told in America, right? It's whitewashed, it's watered down. Um, so that's for the critical race theory piece for me, just me on the outside looking in. Like I never took the course, but I thought that it kind of filled in gaps of not necessarily making people pay for previous atrocities, but making sure that when people make certain statements, they're making it from an intelligent, educated standpoint, right? Because when I make these videos and I upload them, and people are commenting on the videos, there's a lot of misnomers. There's a lot of incorrect information that people have repeated, right? People have repeated this, they have repeated that, and the information that they're actually regurgitating and repeating is incorrect, right? So I feel like some of that stuff could have filled in the blanks and not necessarily make people pay for the atrocities, but for people to be mindful, right? When you have a instead of going with open stereo, because critical race theory also went past that, right? It also was educating people about systematic oppression then and now, right? It showed the continuation, right? It wasn't really no cutoff. It wasn't just talking about the 1800s. Like it also went in depth, to my understanding, thoroughly, well, not thoroughly, but it went in depth to show the historical oppression, the historical systematic oppression from then in the middle and today, from the laws to policies to overt and covert tactics that were utilized, that's still being utilized. And I thought it could have shed light on a lot of stuff that people really should be up on. To be quite frank, like people really should be up on this information. People should really be in tune with what's actually going on around them. Because if you're not actually there, you're not actually in those environments, or you're not actually sorry, if you're not actually black, you will never fully understand the gravity of what's done, right? Where people say, "Oh, y'all got all this stuff today, y'all got all this stuff today," which both things could be true. right? Both things could be true. And what I mean by that is that it can you look and see that in some spots we're in a better place than we ever been? Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Right? We ain't even gonna play that game. There are literally some facets of American life that we can look at and say, yo, we're better than we ever been. But there are also things to look at and say, same old, same old. And I think people just need to be mindful of that, right? It is not, once again, I mean, people heard me talk. It's not a case of trying to be in a victim mindset. It's really a case of just trying to get people to understand of what this plight is, right? Of instead of getting on there, going against me, saying, "Oh, you got a victim mentality," or "Get over it," or "Look at everything you have." Let me speak on what's still existing, right? Because when I speak on what's still existing, probably somewhere in there you may be able to help to push the conversation in a different direction, right? You may be going to your circles and repeat this information that you heard, and they get to the right ears, and then that change could be starting to happen, right? But if it's a case to where you want to battle me, if it's a case where you want to just come at odds with me, for really the sake of coming at odds with me, you really don't have no information or anything to really stand on solid, right? You just got your opinion. Well, I got facts, right? So if I present these facts, yeah, I'm gonna need some, you know what I'm saying? Like this is the purpose. It's to push that conversation forward. It's to push that conversation to get more attention and more awareness, right? Because the more people are aware of certain things, it's harder to do. It doesn't say it's going to eliminate it. You know, no one is saying that, right? But we can try to reduce it, right? So when you tell me that critical race theory, the concept of it is racist, it's like reverse racism or something, right? I mean, just calling a spade a spade. It's like you because we say it's divide, it causes division. That's just a fancy word for me to say. It's just a fancy way to put that as racist. That's the way my brain works, right? So how can teaching legit Black history, which has been taught in this country and only in pockets, Black history isn't really taught in the South. If you hear about Black history, you hear about Malcolm, you hear about Malcolm and Martin. You really hear about Martin, right? But even Martin is whitewashed and watered down because they got y'all here thinking that Martin was a punk. I mean, it's no other way for me to say that. They really got y'all out here thinking that Martin was a punk. Appreciate you, Sebastian, always, man. You know what I'm saying? Like they really got people out here thinking Martin Luther King was a punk because they only show one side of the conversation, right? They don't show all the other things that he did, right? They don't show how the stuff he did in Africa. And this stuff right here is going to be. I'm gonna talk about this heavy next month. Like we really gonna get into the weeds next month. I ain't gonna get but so crazy on here with that because I'm just giving you an example. You know what I mean? They don't teach you really about the Frederick Douglasses and the Mega Evers and like they really don't go, you know what I'm saying, crazy with it. It's really surface level information, and they don't really show the true. If they showed the contributions that blacks made for a while is with the buildup of this country, it's the slavery side that's told. Yeah, okay, we understand. Came over here on the boat, got off the boat, built houses, worked their fields. Yeah. But they act like that's where the story begins and ends, right? Show me the educational system here where Black history predates slavery, right? Show me the history here where Black history talks about anything post slavery in between that and Martin and post Martin. That conversation really ain't had. And that's just honesty. That's not causing division. That's telling the truth. And the reason why I think that's so important, the reason why I personally know it's so important, is because when you get these kids, right, that come from these places that they have a lot of adversity, right? They have a lot of obstacles. They got a lot of adversity. They they they're fighting against a system that predates them. Any little bit of motivation and influence that they can learn about their ancestors, what their ancestors achieved, and what their ancestors overcome. It may help that kid potentially overcome the odds and circumstances that they're facing. Right? I'm telling you from a first-hand account of the value of it. There's a lot of value in that. So for people to come and say that Black history, American Black history holds no value, it's a dumb slap in the face, and it's something that it should be some explaining done on that. It shouldn't be that easy for somebody to say, I can abolish this without just cause. You saying that it's going to cause some level of division doesn't make sense. We got to sit back and learn about white history all day. We don't say that's causing division. We sit back and just learn about American history. We're not here to cause, I mean, that's not causing division, right? So how can me learning about Black history or that counterpart, that white guy, that Asian guy or woman or whoever, them learning about Black history, how is that causing division? No, it's educational. Because y'all sit all day and talk about the Abraham Lincolns and the Thomas Jeffersons and the George Washingtons. And help me understand here, it's hypocrisy. That's damn near the definition of hypocrisy. So how was that held up here on the value scale where it was a Black person that was holding down their house while they was sitting in the office? It was a Black person over there holding down their house. It was a Black woman who he was breastfeeding his kids to. His kids were getting breastfed by Black women. His fields and gardens and yards and all that was being attended to by Black men. But you sit here and you write a piece of legislation and your rebuttal to the legislation that can uplift, that could potentially uplift and educate the masses, you say it's causing division. And people let them get away with that. There was no revoke to that. There was no stand up for that. You want to march for something. This is why when I made the video last week and I made the statement, right? People thought I was bugging out, right? People really thought I was bugging out. Last week when I made the statement, and I was like, we need to unite, unify, and be very tactful and tactive, strategic, right? And what we stand up for and what we speak on. This is the type of stuff we should have stood up for and spoke on. This is something you speak about. This ain't, you know what I'm saying? This is something you speak about. The problem is we're told what issues we have. We're told what we should speak out on. We're told, okay, now you stand up and say something because I'm agreeing with you that was wrong. Why the hell we need somebody else's approval to say what was wrong? Appreciate y'all for coming in. What's up, Brent? You know what I mean? Like, what part of the game is that? What part of the game is us sitting back waiting for them to say, now y'all can talk? No, the moment this guy said critical race theory is not important in the educational system and it took it out the educational system, that should have been a march. That should have been blocking off the roads and stopping people from going to work and all that. That's what you stand up for. It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make mathematical sense. This is the type of stuff that we really need to unite and unify on. We too divisive across the board. We're not marching to the same beat. We don't have the same information. We're not looking at things the same way. As long as we're scattered all over the place, as part of that is done purposely. Like, let's be clear, right? The distraction game is real. And people got to understand the distraction game is super real, right? So long as we got our attention here, we got focus over here, we got our attention and focus put in all these other parts where it's not important. It's not important. Peace and blessings, King. It's not important, right? As long as we're like that, we're not unified, we don't got the same, we're not on the same time, we got the same agenda, these things will continue to be manipulated and played with no type of backlash or discourse. We got a lot of figuring out to do, man. And this is one of the key things we got to figure out. There's no way we should allow nobody to tell us CRT was not viable in the education system. You know why they don't want that talk, Paul? Why they want they talk? Because they don't want the truth to be told, like I said, about the systemic oppression that happened and is still happening. They don't want that part told. If it just began and end with slavery, they ain't had no problem with that being in the schools. Okay, talk about that. That's old. That's all they're gonna say. That's old. But look what we've done since then. That's old. But now when you get the continuation, right? I.e., when they say we abolish Jim Crow laws and everybody praised Abraham Lincoln like Jim Crow laws was really abolished when they was ratified, right? Now you gotta tell the truth about that. Because we're following the abolishment of Jim Crow. Just do the math. Just look at the timelines. But we so caught up fighting each other that's the part we gotta get over, man. That's the part we gotta get over. We don't get over that part, we're gonna be lost in the sauce forever, man. We ain't never gonna recoup or recover. Never. But they're gonna continuously be able to pull these games and these gimmicks like this. You understand what I'm saying? It's gonna be that simple. Now, another issue I have, right? Another issue I have is that the city of Philadelphia is honoring Florida Governor Ron DeSantis with a some type of acknowledgement, some type of award. They call it the gold medal of pretty much personal awards, like right below the Medal of Honor or not the medal, the Nobel Peace Prize, I guess. Right? I guess it's like in that realm, right? The Union League of Philadelphia, right? It was started in 1862. It was started, and that's during the Civil War era, right? So it was started to support and show their patriotic allegiance to Abraham Lincoln, right? You got various Union Leagues throughout the country. But Philadelphia has been recognized they vote every 2 years. So the last 6 times will make it the last 12 years. They have been voted the #1 Union League in the country. They decided to honor this guy with this award. Despite the opposition of city councilmen, prestigious people in that black people, like black leaders in that city, despite of what they felt about it, they still thought it was a bright idea to honor this guy or recognize this guy. A city that has that level of black population, a city that has that level of black poverty, not just black population, but black poverty, black crime, black adversity, in the history of the black community versus the city government. That's a whole nother can of worms, right? They decided to take it upon themselves to reach down to Florida and honor this guy that says black history is not important in the education system. So if that doesn't tell you clearly, oh, she the topic. I'm talking about CTR, critical race theory, um, within the education system. And Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said pretty much that he don't deem it to be important, right? So this guy came on and said, so Philadelphia decided, right, that like I said, with the black population in that city, with the black poverty, with the black crime, um, the black drug use, like whatever, it's like the highest of the highs in the whole country, right? You decide to support a guy that says black education is not important. And for the life of me, no, and that's um says in my opinion, we can't unite without conflict pretty much towards one another. And that's one of my key points, and that's one of the key things that I'm trying to speak on, right? Um, and that's really what I'm trying to speak on and articulate. And social media could be I'm responding, I'm responding to comments as I read them, as I see them come through, right? Um, social media has been a curse, but social media could be a blessing as well, right? social media really could be a blessing. And the reason why I say social media could be a blessing is because you could touch a brother in California. If you in Philly or you in New York or Florida, Georgia, whatever, anyone on the Eastern Seaboard, right? You could touch a brother in California. You could touch a brother in Africa. Like dumb easy. You could touch a brother in Africa and you could open a dialogue and build a relationship, right? To see, what they got going over there, what agendas they got going over there, right? What initiatives they creating over there that we could possibly mirror the same initiatives and agendas over here, right? So anything could be a curse depending on how you utilize it. Understand what I'm saying? Like anything could be a curse. It's just the responsibility with how do you utilize it. The responsibility with are you making it make sense? Now, if you just coming on here to watch a chick shake their ass or to watch a black dude stump a black dude out or girls fighting in the bathroom or whatever, like you're not on here for anything of substance. But that's anything. That's even just going out. That's just going out your door. You know what I'm saying? But we're tricked into not utilizing things properly because the average person, right? Just think about it. The average person, when you open the app, the first thing you're gonna see is a chick shaking their ass, or you're gonna see a chick in a short outfit, right? It's gonna be something sexually enticing or arousing or something that ain't got nothing to do with nothing, right? It ain't nothing to no substance. I opened a TikTok account, right? Open the TikTok account. I ain't follow nobody, but you go on my feed. Only thing you see is chicks. It's like, damn, you can't say it's an algorithm set because I ain't searched for nothing and I ain't added nothing. So, so it's something got to be built into what y'all think people want to see. Okay, no, you got to put I'm a man and all that other stuff. So, okay, if that's what men going there to look at, that don't mean that's what all men going there to look at. It's a built-in trick shot. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? So, it's one of them things, man, where we really got, like I said, we really got to figure. We got some stuff we got to figure out, and it ain't that hard. But we just got to put our attention in the right place. We just got to unite, man. You know what I'm saying? Like black and brown people, bro. Like we know how we got it, right? But my aim is to bring as many Caucasians into the conversation as possible because that's how the real change comes. Because that's what you unite. That's what they're afraid of. That's really what they're afraid of, right? They want to keep throwing out these little trick shots and showing a white cop doing something to somebody black where they want to show. I'm saying they just want to keep us divided. They want to highlight the things that's going to keep us divided instead of showing the things where we're united, right? George Floyd was the closest we became to be united. Well, 9/11 was the closest we came to being united, right? Think about 9/11. Wasn't nobody worrying about no color. Only thing people cared about was if you was American or not. If you was born here, it was go time. It was no conflict, it was no beef, right? George Floyd probably was the next closest thing that I can think of, right? Where I don't think we fully took advantage of the opportunity. I think we could have done way more with the opportunity. Um, hold on one second. Yeah. That's accurate. I mean, it's a super Will Moore, he's running down the Union League of Philadelphia, the fees and the membership fees and all that. It's definitely a super prestigious club. It's an invite only club, right? You gotta get that part straight. It's an invite only club. Membership is like $7,500. You said annual dues are 6,200, pretty much, right? So we ain't talking about no run of the mill back block stuff. We talking about some a real. You know, it was designed for. It's designed for networking, connecting, and stuff like that, right? We understand what it's designed for. But yeah, so for them to, like I said, to reach down to Florida and offer Ron DeSantis to bring him up there, to have him run through that city like he's some kind of good dude. He's not a good dude to me. The moment you do that, the moment you say that, you're not a good dude to me. Like, we're not going to sugarcoat nothing. We ain't going to play no games with nothing. We're gonna call a spade a spade. We're gonna keep it a buck. You did? Yeah, I mean, no, we purposely kept divided. Like they seen what black and brown people could do with nothing. But let's be clear, they seen literally what we could do with nothing. So the agenda is always going to be to keep a foot on your neck. You know what I mean? There's always going to be to keep you down as low as possible, or to keep as many down as possible. Right? Somebody got to work at McDonald's. Somebody got to feed the prison bed. Somebody got to be the janitor. That's the way society works. That society as a whole. That has nothing to do with colorism on that. Right? People got to understand. Right? Everybody ain't gonna be middle class, upper middle class, or upper class. Like that ain't gonna happen. Somebody got to stay down in low class. You need some people that's still educated, dumb as rocks, right? Because they gonna be. And I know a lot of people that make a lot of money landscaping, but a dude with a degree in neuroscience, he ain't going out there to be no landscaper. You understand? A dude that got a PhD from Harvard is not going to fry burgers at McDonald's. Right? It got to be a balance within the world. So you got to understand how the world works. And you got to understand who's going to be the last on the totem pole, or who they would like to see rise up to the ranks of to be their airlights. It just is what it is. Right? But we just got to, like I said, we got to be mindful that it's a trick shot. We got to be mindful on how to overcome these things and get right. But we can only do that united. We can only do that united. And the more that these old principles and whatever is taught of my brother is my enemy and all that, long as that's going on, we're going to forever be divided. We ain't never going to get no unity. And we always going to be an endangered species. Like it is what it is. Like they're just calling a spade a spade. That's just telling the truth. Until that point happens, we're going to be stuck in limbo. We're going to be stuck in status quo. And that's designed purposely. But we got to figure out, we got to see the banana in the tailpipe. Oh, damn, they tricking us out our spot. That's why I said we gotta determine the causes for us to stand up and unite and march and protest and yell. You understand what I'm saying? Like that's the part they would tell you the night before, the day before Martin was killed. The next day, he was supposed to march on DC and oppose the Vietnam War and talk about black reparations. They don't tell y'all all that. Only thing they told y'all, when he got smacked, he turned his cheek. That's all they told y'all. And I'm just talking fact. This ain't me causing division. This is me telling the truth. This is me telling the truth. They don't teach people that. They don't want to teach people that. Because then what does that do? That puts in your black mind, I can fight the opposition versus being submissive. That whole narrative was a submissive narrative. And we fell for it. I fell for it as a kid. I thought like, damn, man, Martin was a strong dude. That's all he did. No, they don't tell the complete truth on that. They don't tell the complete truth on that. We got to keep it a buck of some change. So once again, this is why the critical race theory is so important in schools. This is why it's so important. You understand what I'm saying? This is why it's so important to tell the true story, to tell the true people that played critical roles, because we talk about Malcolm and Martin, but like I said, they don't talk about Medgar Evers. They don't talk about the role that even somebody like Sidney Poitier, they don't talk about the roles that other people played within that fight. No, they told you about Rosa Parks, which that ain't even a true story. Like, that's not even really what happened. You can't talk to me about Rosa Parks because I know the true story. That's not actually what happened. She was not fighting against, you know what I'm saying? That's not what happened. Yeah, they only played, and yeah, yo, my man, you absolutely right. They only play I Have a Dream speech, right? And I Have a Dream speech, not even his best speech. I played the blueprint for y'all last week. Go listen to that whole speech. You know the blueprint, everybody here in the hip hop and rap, that's where KRS-One and Jay-Z got that out, the blueprint. Go listen to that speech. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all want to hear some heavy material? Y'all want to hear some material that y'all can actually listen to and gain some knowledge from? Martin had a dream. That I Had a Dream speech was that was whitewash. That's the damn near the definition of whitewash. Go back and really listen to the words within that speech. Really go listen to the words. And then go listen to how he progressed after that. Go listen to how his speech style and the words he had started evolving. After that, go listen to that. You know what I mean? So when we get into these facts, right? I'm sorry, I'm trying to read some of these comments. Yeah, Will, that club, that Union League club, it's a super military heavy club, right? It supports the military like crazy, right? Um, it's a lot of black people. It's a lot of black prestigious people. I'm talking about. I ain't talking about the. How can I say this? I'm not talking about the black people that they put in our face that they want us to emulate because they control. I'm not talking about them, right? I'm talking about this some solid black people that are part of that club. It's a lot of solid. It's some solid black people that has put in work and done a lot of good stuff with that club. You know what I'm saying? It's not all the nonsense, the foolery, right? But it's definitely a prestigious club. Facts, definitely, right? It's definitely a prestigious club. It's definitely a club of It's definitely a club that, like I said, is invite only. So ain't no average person just walking up in there. It's invite, secret handshake. You know what I'm saying? 7,500 up front. I need that check from you, right? Um, but I don't understand how they could be in support of Ron DeSantis. I don't get it. I'm appalled. Leaders in that city is appalled. They taking him around like he's some type of Nobel Peace Prize gladiator. Like, no. The moment he came out and said that critical race theory and also black education holds no educational value in our school systems, he lost me. Period. Point blank, period. I don't negotiate with terrorists. I don't negotiate with terrorists. And guess what? It's a more than 50% chance he's gonna be our next president. If y'all don't know about him, I suggest y'all Google him. I suggest y'all go read about this guy so y'all can understand why I'm speaking the way I'm speaking about this guy. This guy more than likely is going to be your next president, and then you're going to understand. You're going to be able to connect the dots. The audience that he supports, like his constituents that he supports, you got to understand. Then you understand clear of why he said what he said for a while, just taking that out of the school. You understand? What's up, Phil? Hope your wife get better, bro. I'm waiting to get back in the studio with you, right? So we got to understand this. We got to see what's coming. Like I said, we wait for people to diagnose us what's coming. We got to be able to diagnose this ourselves. We got to be able to have a finger on the pulse of the world, not just our communities, but it's going to start with our community. We ain't got the pulse on the finger of our own community. We got to call a spade to keep it a buck. We ain't even got that, right? But in order for us to grow, to really understand how this world works, to look at the world through a different octave lens, we really got to understand the long play. We really got to understand how they strategize and how they set us up and how they program us to accept certain things. And until we get past that, until we overcome those deficiencies, until we improve upon those deficiencies, we always going to be left in the wind. We always going to be somewhere looking crazy, holding the bag. Every time. But yet, it's no way in hell you're going to convince me that, like I said, Ron DeSantis has no business being recognized by the Philadelphia Union League as some medal of honor type winner type dude. No way. No way. That's offensive as hell. It's disrespectful as hell. Like everything they tell us not to be, insensitive, right? Like how, like, come on, man. It gotta be a mutual conversation. It gotta be a mutual type of relationship. It can't be a one-sided, eat the shit I give you, but I'm gonna eat steak. And that's exactly what that is. Ain't no other way for me to say it. Y'all know me by now. I'm gonna say things one way. If I gotta say it that way, I'm gonna say it that way. Ain't no other way to say that. If y'all in the room, please like this. Please like this live. Please like this live. Right? Like it just don't work like that. It don't work like that, and they've been making it work like that. And we got way more control and power than we realize. So that's why I said at the beginning of this. Some of y'all missed the beginning of this. That's why I said in some cases we are better than we ever been. That's why I disagree with you, Brent. Social media is a beautiful thing if it's utilized right. We just been trained to use it for dumb stuff. You know what I'm saying? We've been trained to use it for dumb stuff. But I ain't got to be in y'all face to have this conversation. Y'all can get in the comments. Look, y'all can get in the comments. Y'all can engage in the conversation. Y'all can let me know what y'all feeling. Y'all can let me know what y'all thinking. Right? I ain't gotta be in Philly. I ain't gotta be in LA. I ain't gotta be in New York. I ain't gotta be in Chicago. I could be right where I'm at. We still can have this conversation. So don't tell me social media is just an evil thing. Nah, they made us focus on the dumb parts of it. You know what I'm saying? We can get in contact with each other like that, visually with other people, bring mad people into the conversation. So anything is cool if you use it right. That's just, you know what I'm saying? That's just life, period, right? So yeah, that kid, dumb kid, Ron DeSantis. I think I talked enough about dude, right? I do want to talk about the kid in Memphis, right? I touched on it last week, right? Anybody that was live with us last week in the studio, I was telling y'all that the kid from Memphis, right? A kid from Memphis. At that time, I think he was still alive though. I don't think he was dead, right? He was beaten up pretty bad. ICU made him look like the Elephant Man. He wound up dying from those injuries. Five officers, 5 black officers. Let's go further. 5 black officers. Let's make sure that part's clear. Let me tell y'all the difference, right? The difference is this. Anybody that's been around me, you never heard me just say white police. You heard me say police. You ain't never heard me just say, oh, white police this and white police that. But even though I can see why people would speak on that first, because when they show these videos, more than likely it's a white cop doing the damage, right? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's normally the white cops doing the damage, right? But where I'm come from, it's the black cops that give you hell, man. I'm just being out. It's the black cops, man. It's the black cops that's going. They just as quick as the white cops, man. There's no color lines with that to me. You know what I mean? Like there's no color lines. Bad police is bad police. So those are not familiar. I think his name was Tyre, kid out of Memphis. Was pulled over last week, traffic stop. Um, from everything I could find, they saying the day before he was pulled over, they chased him. They caught him reckless driving, and he got away from him, something like that, right? And they finally pulled him over. The next day, they was able to pull him over. Took him out the car. For whatever reason, he fled. Right, man. The police, the biggest gang, and man, we police the biggest gang in the world. um, so he fled. Body cam footage get funny, right? But they catch him. They beat him up. Now, one thing I knew as a kid growing up, right? If you ran from the police when they caught you, they was gonna beat you. Like this was widely known. Brent, you on here, you know I'm telling the truth, right? I don't know where everybody else is from, but I know in the city of Philadelphia, it was common knowledge that if you ran from the police when they caught you, they was gonna beat you. Either they was gonna take you, either they was gonna do it right there on the block, or they was gonna take you out to the park, or they was gonna take you in somebody else's neighborhood, beat you and leave you there. But somewhere in there, you're gonna get beat. We're talking billy clubs and boots and flashlights. Sometimes they're gonna handcuff you. Sometimes they're gonna let you not be handcuffed. Either way, you're gonna get rolled on and stomped out. Common knowledge, common practice. That's why I always said police. You never heard me say white cop, Asian cop, Hispanic. I said police. The police beat this kid so bad. If you go look at that hospital photo, he's unrecognizable. Go look at his regular photo. Then go look at his hospital photo. The kid is unrecognizable, man. He like the Elephant Man. And I mean that with all sincerity. I mean no disrespect by that. They beat the brakes off this kid. Right? Yes, Brent just said the same thing I said. They're going to take you out to that park. Like I said, they're going to take you out to the park. They're going to take you to somebody else's neighborhood, or they was going to do it right there on the block. Well, nobody can really do about it, right? But 5 black cops surrounding this guy and beat the brakes, hit him with everything they had. Everything on their wet belt, they hit him with. Right? Hit him with everything they got. Beat the brakes off this guy. Right? Wound up dying from his injuries. They was going to take him to the precinct. He said, I got a headache. They called paramedics. Paramedics took him to the hospital. I'm pretty sure he probably was on the hospital bed, handcuffed and all that. I'm pretty sure that's how that go, right? Yeah, the cops was going to beat you for making a run. Facts. You already knew it was coming with that, right? But I'm pretty sure, like I said, I'm pretty sure he was handcuffed to the bed, right? While he was laying there dying. Kid dies. This had to be the shortest investigation in police history before they fired them cops. Now, they did the right thing. And let's see if they, they go through the process and they charge them criminally. And I'm pretty sure all that's coming, right? I have no qualms with none of that. I got no qualms with none of that. Just keep that same energy across the board. That's all I ask. All I ask is we clearly see it does not take 6 months for investigation. We clearly see y'all looked at the body cam footage. Y'all see them violate police policy. The main thing that we accuse white officers of doing, right? That they get accused of not intervening. Well, I'm pretty sure all five black cops didn't beat on this guy. But the fact of the matter is, you still by there and do nothing. Oh no. The white cops is no, they getting paid definitely. They not if they not even doing admin leave, if they sitting home with pay. This is what I'm saying. Like, keep that same energy, right? Because right is right, wrong is wrong. Nobody is debating the wrong or right factor within the situation. I think anybody could look at this and just see it was wrong. Right now, somebody gonna play devil's advocate. I already know what's coming. He shouldn't have ran and yada. Maybe the guy had a good reason to run on this one. Because guess what happened? You don't see the body cam footage from that interaction of what made him run. So somewhere in there, maybe he had an intuition of, man, I got to get up out of here. Maybe that's a possibility. Maybe that's a possibility. That's what I'm saying. Maybe that's a possibility, right? Maybe this kid seen something or he felt something in his soul that say, hey, kid, maybe that's what happened. But no matter what, the guy was unarmed. He was not a threat. He posed no threat to law enforcement. It's 5-on-1. He not gonna win that. That's already understood, right? But y'all beat the guy to a pulp for 3 minutes, for 3 minutes straight. I need people to understand what 3 minutes, like really think about 3 minutes, right? In a pro fight, that's 1 round. That's 1 round. 3 minutes. And they beat this kid for more than 3 minutes straight. It's like 3 minutes of some change. So that means they was taking turns, tagging each other in, high-fiving, like they're having a great time. Beating the brakes off this kid. Yeah, there wasn't no little cops either. It wasn't no little cops, Will. Definitely wasn't no little cops. So they beat the brakes off this kid, took him to the hospital. He dies in there. And then my skin crawled. And so some of y'all probably not gonna understand this. No, 3 minutes is a long time, man. 3 minutes is a hell of a long time. Guess who come up, camera time, face on TV? Ben Crump. Ben Crump. Ben Crump should be out there raising hell about them removing the critical race theory from education systems. Nah, but he's going to get the bag when your loved one in the ground. And y'all keep calling this sucker. He's a scavenger, man. Y'all keep calling this scavenger. Or y'all keep allowing this scavenger in y'all crib. He ain't the only black civil attorney in America. No, he just happened to work for the largest civil law firm in America. He's a scavenger, man. Dude ain't for us, man. It's clear. Look how much stuff done happened now. Where has he been at? This ain't me just making it up. This ain't me going off on a tangent. This is once again me telling the truth. I don't make the facts, man. I just diagnose it. It's nothing about Ben Crump that should go with black people. Tell me another time y'all seen Ben Crump face when it didn't involve somebody in the ground. Tell me what he stood up for. Tell me what he marched on. Tell me what he got out there and protested. Come on now. Everybody don't get quiet now. Everybody quiet. This is a trick shot. This is the further perpetuation of the confusion. This is why we can't get on the same accord. Because y'all keep allowing suckers in your house. Period. No tick backsies. Somebody tell me I'm wrong. The war on black people when it comes to law enforcement has been just that, law enforcement. It has not been a specific color. Now, when you go to certain places, like when you go in the deep south and stuff like that, skin color's gonna get a little lighter. Ain't gonna be too many dark skin colors that's wearing that uniform. That's facts. But I don't think y'all understand the level of oppression that law enforcement has been committing against these neighborhoods forever in these major cities. Only time we hear about it is in the South. When you think of bad cops or racist cops or whatever type of cops, your mind automatically go to the South. Automatically. It's like a default. You know how much stuff we look and laugh about dealing with the police because we was conditioned to think that that was normal and okay? Oh yeah, that's what they do. There's nothing okay about that. There's nothing okay about getting pulled over, even if you run. Now, if you running and you shooting back or something like, okay, you're changing the ball game now. But you ran, you got caught. I watch On Patrol Live every Friday and Saturday. I record it and I laugh my butt off. Everybody on there run. And guess what happens? They get handcuffed, they get put in the back of the car, they go to booking. They don't get stomped out, they don't get mollywopped, they get berated and they get all, down talk. They get all that. They get all that work. But the key is they get to go to jail, then go home. They don't go to the hospital now unless they had some cardiac arrest because they was out of shape trying to run, or they got bit by the canine or something like that. Outside of that, they go home. That's the key part. Nowhere in there does it say you are the jury, judge, and executioner. Nowhere in when you get sworn in, nowhere in it doesn't say that. That's nowhere in your police handbook. Five black officers beat that boy to death. Five black officers beat that boy to death. and your man Ben Crump is the Johnny on the spot. Help me understand what's going on, man. We can't keep talking about what we fighting in the systems and all this. And like I said, we can't even get right here. We gotta get right internally first, man. Too much crab behavior, too much self-hate. You know what I mean? Like I can go on forever with this list. This list is bananas. It's a very substantial list of the issues that we have internally. As long as them issues exist, we gonna always gonna be 10th class citizens. I ain't say second, I ain't say third. I said 10th. Dogs in America are more treasured or more valued than black people, than black men especially. Let's be clear. You see Michael Vick, right? They showed you on a totem pole where you fall at. That canine is more important and valuable in our eyes than you. How many more examples do we need? Like that wasn't even nothing covert about that. That was outright if you read between the lines. If you look at things for what they truly are, that was clear. You did. Clear. Crystal. I don't know what could have happened to that magnitude during that chase or during that interaction that and I don't even know why I'm even talking like this because I witnessed this my whole life. Then, like it doesn't take nothing. Cops are the biggest gangs in the world. Everybody knows that. Cops don't like to hear that, even though that's the exact truth. It's the exact truth. Like I said, so far, what was done with these cops, I feel like it was a textbook example of it doesn't take long to come to a decision of wrong and right. They they still want a due process or whatever the case may be, and these cops were fired. The DA is determining whether or not they're going to be criminally charged, which I would be surprised if they're not criminally charged. Um, yeah, that's crazy. Um, I'll be surprised if they're not criminally charged. They should be criminally charged, calling a spade, right? But this is an example that does not take 6 months or a year or whatever for them to investigate and come to a decision. That justice was swift. That justice was very direct, swift, and then it took them a whole bunch of time. Now I want to see how long it's going to take to bring criminal charges. But in this example, we've seen that they can come to a judgment. They can make it swift. They can get it over with. But the interesting part is when they're criminally charged, I want to see how long it took for the jury to deliberate. I want to see how long the trial lasts. I want to see how long it took for the jury to deliberate. I want to see all these fancy key things. I want to, you know what I'm saying? I want to see all this. I want to see all this stuff. I want to see all this stuff. Because we know, I want to hear these cops say I was in fear for my life. Honestly, bro, I don't think it would have been so fast. I mean, because of what we seen. It's only because of what we seen. Now, I ain't going to hold you. In the city of Philadelphia, Mayor Danielle Outlaw, first female black mayor, police chief. I'm sorry. She the female chief of police. First female, period. And quite actually, it makes her the first black female police chief in that city's history, right? Um, she don't play no games. I ain't gonna hold you. She look at it, suspend with intent to dismiss, right? She don't even play no kind of games, right? It's not enough for her quite naturally. But I don't know if it would have been any. I don't know if it would have been different. I don't know if it would have been different. I can't say it would have been different because of only reason why I'm saying that's based off of everything we've seen previously. Like they was even trying. I mean, look at the George Floyd joint. Look how long that took. That only got like that because of people's uproar. Let's be honest. We got plenty of examples here. We got examples. Yeah, I think so too, Brett. I think they're gonna get that out the way. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about them. You know what I'm saying? They don't care. You know what I mean? They going but yeah, like I said, man. Um hopefully next week we back in the studio. I gotta get with my man Phil. I gotta, you know what I mean? His family situations definitely come first. Um hopefully I'll be squared away. We can get back to what we normally do, back to our regularly scheduled programming. I got an ill lineup in for the month of February. I got some ill next week I want to talk about, but I only want to be able to talk about that if we actually in studio because I want, I can't do all the fancy stuff I'm used to with the clips and the graphics and all that. You know what I mean? I just wanted to do this to stay in touch with y'all on Tuesday night, man. To keep, you know what I'm saying? Y'all made Tuesday nights available for me, and I want to show my appreciation and make sure that no matter what, I can be here to talk to y'all for 4 hours or so, right? Um, but as always, man, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate the time. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Um, and I'll definitely be back with y'all next week, one way or the other. Y'all stay safe.